tene Kachambuji, Gulondi. Chidangi Gulon Sangagi Lungagi, Landu Yuba, Tadiko Gimze Chikche, and the Tola, Chidangi Granzo. 내가 가르쳐야 나양 굴롱디 상보지 키고야 돼 개침보지 개시 굴롱디 야보시 뭐 충분히나 지 개회 자와를 두가 제비나양 다리데 되네 배는데 요도와 시계도와 가셔 넘으셔도 되네 샤셔도와 여러 가셔 나한테는 잠발라가 왕구 쳐서 Zambala wangu na pe mimangbu chongba mangu yung, ye chozo la buwa mangu yung, di gulong yang tawa marwa, ngugu tanda samda arwa. Ten nanshin ki tetan ten drawe ki ngarazu chongsum jik chebe ye nare, chokwa jik chebe ye nare, tene mimangbu ju yung ya da, penchung dulong siya ka samlo jik, di ki gulong de ki je lega, gewa shi drupa ye na yang, tadi 차창부 주고 말아. 된대 배나 오만 잡고 지나라. 되네. 다독 잡고 치면 잡고 살고. 지당이 친낭수 나라 개와나고 지금 누구요래? 가셔라 팽기 위기리 이내야 토마디 구직 친예래. 이게 그 삼바디 꿀론디 오다 벤저 누구 시야지 탕고대 키니 엔다리지 지 가주 첨부 소야 이나데 두바 첨부 소야 이나데 어딘데 먹고지 차지 누기 꿀론디 키유비 있나? 근데 꿀론 양바 차서다. 어디에는 최대양 되네 다디 어디 야고 때백간 총거랑 신창도 봐. 총단 저디 아니 최대양 총소다고지 차는 어디시들은 매개월에 차서로 봐. 어디 개천부지 두경에 내가 신경 상월로기 되네. 지 계획 내가를 두고 있는 그런 넘버 타고지. 아니 오늘 최대 녀몽백이 되네 년불을 편타고지. 심지어를 편타고지. 이 조천 니 키네 되네. 자와간가 죽고야지. 이 개천부지 가에서는 이는 소신 원런도 최남 이기나시 최승이 이기라 300당시시です 300의 장마시면은 그 최든 저기 요 말봐 최승이 300당시 근데 이도 做 누구요 그래서 딩고를 누구요 그래서 어디 이제 이 개천부지 돈안 나온 거야 그래서
The first stanza has to be understood properly in terms of the intention here focus on, because the intention is very important in regards of any activities we carry on. Therefore, the first stanza is focusing on the intention that the right intention that we should have. Generally, before giving teaching by any lama, the devotees are requested to generate good intention. This is because if you receive the teachings with good intention, then only then the teaching become beneficial. Without having good intention, then the teaching that you would receive would be not that much of beneficial. So therefore, the first stanza is very much associated with having a good intention. Whatever we do has to be good intention to conduct any kind of things. Then only then your activities can become a noble one. Without good intention, whatever noble work you would conduct, then it cannot be fruitful. So therefore, the intention is very much important. On my tour to some foreign countries, I have noticed that in some organizations or Dharma centers, people are interested receiving the Zambala initiation. This is because of course, wealth. And then the teachers or the monks who are there are happily giving the initiation of Zambala. When we think about the initiation of Zambala, of course, it is associated with the wealth. And then the intention of the people, of course, to have good wealth and money. And if you are receiving this initiation only having the intention of making money, then there is no Dharma. So therefore, we do have to be careful when we receive this kind of initiation. There is related to not good intention. Essentially, if you have this intention of, if you are receiving this kind of initiation, having this intention, there is not Dharma at all. If you have this intention to receive this kind of intention to receive such and such initiations, then it is like that you are consuming milk. Consuming milk mixing with the poisonous milk, because the intention is not good. Then the Dharma, whatever you receive or whenever initiation you receive, would be not helpful or healthy. So therefore, this kind of teaching should not be given if you have such kind of intention. And then the Dharma becomes a business just to make money and name and so forth. So therefore, we have to be careful to have the right intention to receive the important teachings. And it is also said that by having right intention, whatever you do and whatever you engage with, the activities or the action become fruitful and noble one. Without the right intention, whatever you engage in or whatever you do or act, then the result of that particular action becomes unhealthy or not the fruitful one because of the intention again. So therefore, the intention is very much important in regarding the action you would carry on. In whatever you do, whatever you thought of, and whatever you conduct a kind of action, then the intention has to be preceded. So the first stanza is focusing on intention. Therefore, the intention is very much important.
대신 되는 나라디 최는 다 이게 소위인 봐. 이게 당신 이게 소위인 바지. 이 왕기 되네 삼바상얘기 기디기 송예야 지면은 삼바 산다 메상기 되네 기디기 송예야 지면으로서 송바다 디 탄다 조직되어봐 디 인디디 나라다 디 팅상 체릭배양 딱제시네 디 라드체투도와 아니 자뱅기 체릭배 깨다 첨부직 탭직 tönd와 탭데 망고요 팅상 당연 민드 챙기면도 간다 디 되네 그 출라 딱제시 가서 추디 개첨부래도 Jangchubling di sashi ribu ko di tumbu dyun la be cha dyun di churen dos. Tena shingi di na la nyo de de rishu ju gi mi de yang de tumbu chu la be cha dyun di churen sha su lu ya. Di yin du ko chu de la tak je che ne. Then the Cheshi Chambut the Shiabut Dena, then Chula Geja Samba Kedna, then a Samba Sangbung and Samba Yamuji on the call Shasha number 6 of the day, Geja Shaja, the Contra number Yebega, then it should the Karachi to Debagala, then it should be Nalogi, Chudu, Sangasangi, Manguji, number Yundrea. Yanchu de la Tenet Tam Sangboche, Dongan Daboche, Korangi Samba Sangbo with Sawan Daboji, same Kije, the Deche Begala, or the Chudia, the Suk Chudu, Suk, Medo Beman Dabo, Ningjabo, Yabo, the Demongo, Tarjeshan, the Kotem, the partner, the sons of Buli Kerachi or Wadi. Or Digas Jig Sem Nibadi, Revachi Mobolia. Nobody young, Kigas Nuba Tunguar. 10 I think in Mila Tungurwa, Mila Tunguar. Jana Semdi, Yin is Soshis, Chus Yin and she Yin is Soshim, Yi the Kachambuji. And the Yi the young Hajangi bear Nudu Chambuji Yama. And so Sangi jumped in the Namdana, Yama, then Chambashibuting is in a Sama Jew or Dodge, Chambashibuting on the Shuni. Due to the Gangalo, then a changes some medal girt about the Zorava, Zundivarava, or Tenzudawian, then or did the one, then Samba Sambo, Chambe Dingzing, Dodgeta Wooding is a number of Tugi, knew what the Drew to Yorba, or did things like that, Henry Nalayan, and the Radu to Chetuyori. The Indu somebody by Kiati Kachambuji, Sambo Kiati Kachambuji.
So again, emphasizing on the right intention, then one should have. Here is continue with giving importance on the intention of any thing that can be conducted. So therefore, intention is very much important. It is said that if your intention is right, then the action and things and events follow after the intention. And then in the contrast, if your negative thought is there, and then the result, of course, may be the negative one. The formation of the negative result and the formation of positive result is projected by the right intention and the wrong intention, respectively. It has also been approved by the scientists today, the intention and its results, how their functions. A Japanese scientist who did experiment on water, even water, how it reacts when we talk to the water in terms of the right intention and wrong intentions. He wrote a book that mentions that when we talk to the water with right intention, and then it forms, it reacts, forming beautiful forms, such as in the form of a form of flower and other attractive formations. In contrast, when we talk to the water with bad words, with intention and so forth, then it reacts with a very messy and very fragmented kind of formations from its side. So therefore, it is also works the intention. And when we talk about the intention, even the animated objects such as water. So therefore, the intention is very much important in regards of the connection of the objects. So therefore, in these texts of the first stanza is focusing how to have the right intention or motivation when we are in connection with the objects. If we can see that even the even waters and such inanimate objects reacts to your intention and your negative and positive speeches, words, then of course there's no question about the animate objects that would react accordingly, according to your intention and actions. So therefore it is very important again to focus on our right intention to be cultivated. There is another beautiful example how the inanimate objects reacts according to the intention and thoughts that you would have, is that during the time of Buddha Shakyamuni, when we was about to attend enlightenment under the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya, he was on practice of great compassion, of course, and then the Maras, of course, they created lots of obstacles, hitting with different types of weapons. And then as soon as they started to hit with the weapons, then all the weapons turned into flowers and so forth. So therefore, with this example, we should understand that how our intention is so important and how it is powerful and how it works according to according to the intention that the one would have. So therefore, intention again here to be focused and emphasized, to be cultivated, whatever you do and act.
수업 가지는 탐제 삼바상을 라려와 창마 아니 샘상 라려비 수문화 신기 샘상 보시는 배 마스베 팬도 망고지 샘기 뉴슈디 팬도 망고 요구도와 라다라 하지 개바지요래 라다 깨실라 그리고 ngore tosna gyushine longre dang dore thona domain longre dang pe khaba yor anya kana da pe masive khaba re dosna da khora yina hange mente de shi pinki mi dos ya imji ji yor sabel ya ji yor nga zo level se balbalist ji yor tawas oko nyama yergan wa das derba kuda badaji 그 멘트에 휴지 핑크 두스 저단디 캐주에서 그 연대 지중 좀 많이 봐라 삼바직 지금 학습 남다로 보지 지 멘트에 있는 거지 지가 대나로 봐 지 손다고 야 많이 봐 야지 모습다고 야 많이 봐 섬케다 원에 거기 나서들 패야겠다 뭐지 후다바다지 학습 닝지다 대바 참바다 대바고는 대비나 그 임지 개발 맨날 앞에 핑기유서 그 셈근디 바디 어디 뭐였어 가서 임지 코나서 내시기도 근데 이 삼바디 배마서지 삼바 상보지유나 맹간날 내가 생겼는데 삼바 상보시는 내봐도 배마서 편도 유고였어 안티나시 삼바 상고주는 결하서 레우나 내가 칭해나 파수 강가 tumbu ya bombol에 tumbu 로골에 폼부 조bom망부 내가 야 람로 야고 아니 랑 삼바 기바 미 삼바 기바 라시아 상마 메시디날 참을로 라와 디기고 요 시에데로 라와 디기레데 내가 쳐야지 기분매야 동해 요야 내가 직접 매기밖에 안 하는 요야 말아 then Samba Sangoji, Dewaji, Yona, did Debuti, Sam Gibuji, Sandelia, Mezatala, turned the yon to
regarding the right intention that all of us should have. Here's another example how it actually works in a practical way. There's a Tibetan doctor in Ladakh who is known for his mastery in traditional medicine, and one day I asked if his practice is doing well and if his medicine is very effective to the patients, and he said that the medicines that I prescribed to the patients are not so effective, and then I thought that this is because of his intention. Of course, the intention also works in these practices very effectively. Whereas there's another monk I knew who was from Yangrigar in Tibet. He was not so known for his qualification of the practice of Tibetan traditional medicine. But when I came to know that his practice was so effective because of his intention, he was not so qualified in this practice, but his intention was so good towards the patients. Therefore, I heard that his medicine was so helpful and effective to the patients because this is because I thought that because of the intention that he had towards the patients. The loving kindness and compassion again is important in this case. This is the right intention, one can be called. So therefore, for the doctors also to have the right intention towards the patient is very much important, and it works in their practices very effectively. And then in any places, the right intention is very, very important. For example, if you are working in an organization, and then all the staff members should have the right intention towards each other. Only then the organization can grow and grow up very well. So, and also in hospitals, the doctors should have the right intention and loving kindness and compassion towards the patients. Only then the patients can have the right, then they can recover very well. So in terms of any places, in any circumstances, right intention and compassion and love is very important.
Then that's a niba dendrona, Niela, that Nyabo Sheshana, Chigdi, Ngala Meching, Ngala Nu, Ngala Torching, Apamshi, Kangita Sim Chipa, Tenor Torshi Mingur. That's six Sungden, Chachi Yutu, Chachi Budi, Ngala Meching, Ngala Nu, Ngala Torching, Apamshi. 강기 대다 당기 즉 당고의 강기 대다 셈치 봐. 다 당대 니바디 강기 대다 메셈 봐. 다 말라 메송 알라 토송스 다지 콘신 디게디 마삼 봐. 콘신 빵 짐바 메바. 메셈 베이나 엔테노 토와 시원 주거든. 계시 콘신이 냐데베나 엔 토와 신 주고 말해서 아주 공조 kendesin jomgu yimi digo kalunara.
Moving to the next shloka, the shloka number 3. It reads, "He abused me, he beat me, he defeated me, he robbed me. In those who harbor such thoughts, hatred is not appeased." Shloka number 4. "He abused me, he beat me, he defeated me, he robbed me. In those who do not harbor such thoughts, hatred is appeased." In this shloka or stanza, is explaining how enmity or hatred should not be held in our mind when it comes to the intention again that one should have. So therefore, the hatred and enmity need to be eliminated from our heart.
Jidang tanganzo lo samja sangma lo dewa de kiba yoya ge chidu then sodap chigi yore bezun chigi yore dindeji rawa chigi yore yina ya ane meza di nala dene ji da genge mangu jikte shedang khongzho gyangjing sure da Dhammapada jig zabune no yonde ge yorwa da gaso gyachasa chi yo xie mo che ngaran sosu mire ring wo re samlo dan da ngaran zu kangba chongba jig na samlo dan da do la samlo dan ji de chi dang wo ya de keshin bu re do sam di ji ji dang ngaran zu jig samlo dan na da ngaran zu korea nang sem je sang lo de ja xie dang ga ye cha do rang xin ji ran pe ge mi sang ma ko de je san na tar sa sang ge sa de nyom ba sang sa ba mo rong ba nyom ba sang sa ni ane tar be khom ba top ni ya ge sa de member sang ma lo nyom ba ge cho ba pepe kabele yuguduwa tene chongpa chado menas chongpa hiwe da res tago mashi pedo ko chado yorda shetan nga je chado 그래서 이 코리아 랑신이 제르바 딘데 랑신지 임바 시에네 안 코웨기 뇽몽 바텔랑 알아서 kin데스다 딘데 지 코류 그러바 딘데 지 예배 날랑 아주 속구dio 알아서 디큐 마코바 텔라 동네 kin데스 채고 그래 디 아주 상당고 그러바
in order to have a good life and happy life, we always work for work for them. But there are a lot of challenges due to the afflictive emotions and the three types of poisons, attachment, hatred, and so forth. When we talk about the in terms of the individual life, there are a lot of challenges in our life. Even in a family, there are a lot of difficulties in terms of the relationship between the family members, and there are a lot of hatred, afflictive emotions, and misunderstandings. These will remain until we attend Latin because of the ignorance again. And there's a famous saying in Tibetan that when there is no jealousy among the family, it is the sign of death of the family. What essentially here is mentioning is that as long as the family is there, the enmity and jealousy is there. So therefore, we do really have to face all the adversities and all the attachment and afflictive emotions that we do have among the families and among the people and so forth. Therefore, the challenges is always there, and the method of dealing with them is required in order to undermine and finally eliminate the afflictive emotions and misunderstandings and so forth.
onda de ya thane di sangye sung jyo la ngala me ching ngal di shola ga di yondan di lingxi ji duwa lu gyu ji lu gyu khara sangye jumde ne nyen yu shu yo res di gab de di nyego la ming bu ni la bu ni yo res di ya gyam bu cha su na khuni gen ju chen ni gelong ro res gelong drum ne khuni ni be bo ba chen bu che gelong xiang da chang ma lo kui xia ma che 원에 시는 뒤에 나를 라바 gemba de nyela de adu shomba de ma wol de warwa de ma yin ba che nyenda wa gani bal de kanju ma ju chigi yusarwa ne kushab ma che de yin du tanda su xie xie dang yesa xie xie dang du kong la ne sang ge jum den de zal shu ga qin do sang ge jum den de gi tene kong lu so je ne kira gyalon namla xiaqwa shu kures sungdu ko xiaqwa shu yu samari xiaqwa ma shu du tene sangye gi lu gyu ka chi sungje da dini kuni ni de tsanga ma ya o tene khonzin mangbu ji cheba de o ko ngang go go na sung tene ko nga gyu chom sung tene ko de maung ba ya ko chese de ko nge da wu zu lo ro wa chi gin du o de de gi tene da kun zin xie jiang de sem la di jiang be gan la ene ko changa ma ya ene me gi da kon zhou rang xin ma se chen de ya ro su xue de yong ba de se sung che de la de ne da lu gyu de du du de xi bre ming da di xu ni ne 민도가 조디 닝든 딘제질 때네 ngala meje ngala ngala thoje ngapam kangi theda semchena semnyana de thowa namya higa mares thowa namna shi machine ta dungye khore na deya mado de dewa namya yo marwa o thela tene de de thowa sem pang de suya yosa de redo.
When Buddha was in Shavasti, there were a family from whom two brothers became a monk, and all two of them entered into the Sangha members, Sangha community, and they did not do well in terms of the rules and regulations they had to follow. After some time, they had a dispute with the senior monks, and the two brothers visited Buddha and told Buddha what kind of incident they had with the senior monks. And then Buddha asked if they had confessed their mistakes in the presence of the senior monks. And then the two brothers said they did not confess the mistakes they did. And then and this triggered because of their previous habitual tendency of holding enmity and hatred and so forth. In this life also those kind of negative patterns manifested. So this is why they naturally happened to be not well with the senior monks, did not respect them and so forth. This is what Buddha realized. And then after they are asked, the two brothers were asked by Buddha to go back to the Sangha community and confess to the in the presence of the senior monks. Then later what they did. And then this is when Buddha tried to realize, tried to understand what caused these two brothers to have such a natural tendency or pattern of enmity and hatred and so forth. And then he came to know that in his previous life, also there were a nature of strong enmity, jealousy and so forth. This is because of that habitual pattern and tendency. These life also they had to happen with this kind of incidents. with causing by the hatred and afflictive emotions and so forth with the senior monks. So therefore, we should not hold the enmity and all these negative thoughts with us. We should let them go and try to appease the hatred and the negative thoughts and intention that we have in our mind. That is the practice that need to be put in.
재산 단다디 상계 담배도 숭배가라 오 코란이 딘데기 제야디 이 규득네 용수도와 봐 생아마야 딘데 쉐브레스 디기 레기 박자다 디겐기 데네 규등기 레르바 규등기 레셰니 어딘데 용버레 숭여와 데나싱이 가나수 단남주 초외나라 규겐네주 멍부주 투구르반 담만다 저번 담만다 미델 콩도 샤는 되게 요마래. 근데 사자지를 샤샤베나 토마 사자도 토마 드베가라 난디 펜주 로템바 아니 펜주 지 메즈디날 디기 영화지기 치두 사자 토마 고수다. 이년 두순 론르게 망고지기 생하면 레다마다 지기 돌아 에네즈 망고지를 마팀바다 야나테네 소수 뇽몽베 레 도서 돌아 아니 저바 엔 카시에 두고 격둥 안디레 두고 세릭 네즈 잠불링 카사가 톤데 겨르버 어디 인도 저 저바 인도 미디다 카사 저바 쇼세 미디 단덴디 토라 지버서야 요마레 콩초야 요마레 계속 콩초나 거기 레들로 토고 생감에 메기웨 레들로 토고 가래 코나양 미잠 디나로라 대와 기버지 삼로 요래 마도지게 코디 에네 디나로라 야테네 격동체 마가와치야 랑게 셈나레 기부 메바 소야지 소소소 수마르바 이네 양 콜라 라와 요마레 라와 메바 카르스나 생감메기 레기 왕기 라와 메바 차
These true brother monk had this happen with the other senior monks because of their previous life habitual pattern of enmity and jealousy and so forth. This can be called the similar caused that manifest in their next life due to the strong habitual tendency of enmity and jealousy and so forth. They naturally demonstrated such kind of indisciplined things when they are as long as they are entered in the Sangha community. This is what happened with these two Sangha brothers. In generally, when we talk about how enmity and jealousy really creates problems in our day-to-day life. For example, in a family, they begin that when a person begins their family, his family, it is all the main purpose and aim is to have a happy life and to lead a prosperous life. But in contrast, it does not happen, and then after some time, after beginning their family, there lot of problems occurs between the spouses and among the other family members because of ignorance and afflictive emotions that possess in us. When we think about these incidents that often occurs in the families, this is because of the tendency and the habitual patterns of our karmic habitual patterns of our previous life. And because of that, we are facing a lot of challenges in terms of the healthy relationship of our family members. And sometimes it happens that they have quarrel among the family members. Sometimes they even goes up to beating each other, and the worst thing is that sometimes they get killed because of the hatred, the strong hatred, intense hatred. This is the worst case one can see in this kind of incidents one can see in the villages and families. So this is because of the strong afflicted emotions and then habitual patterns of our previous life that is cause to go after such a drastic action. And then when we talk about the negative thoughts that we have in which cause to have a lot of problems among the families and among the friends, during that point of time, we should not get angry to the other people. What should we do is that we need to understand the cause and condition of these incidents, and instead of getting anger to the other second person, we should get angry to the cause that makes you to get angry to the other person. What essentially here explaining or giving you the understanding is that instead of getting angry to the other person or the second person that is the object of getting angry, we should think of the cause, the enmity and jealousy and so forth. That is the object. Those are the objects we need to get angry and need to be understood. Those are the cause of the anger that makes or creates a lot of problems among the family and so forth. This happens because of without control. We are completely surrendered or occupied by the negative thoughts, and these things and events happens because of them. So therefore, we should be calm and try to understand the cause of the anger and so forth.
대다드는 알아서 뇽몽배 창직 두부초기 지조디 나로라 알아서 kinde체네 동네 양타고 채고래 kinde체네 되는 랑이 대화지 뇽몽배 타르바 채토고래 디당 가서 취치야 닝부조의 차기요래 니르니르 알아서 소외토로 고고신부 차대요래 디인두 에네 배나 뇽몽 시당 아제 차도 도서 예외간라 도서 아니 알아서 셈냐나 알아서 동에마도 야요마나 배나 콘트직 람비나 우양 가르가르보 노양 줄 가셔도 참모야 니마코보 요거도와 디다보 되네 제 르부양달 디다보 둥에 류르 둥에뇨 칼리칼리 디네만 망고지 셴비나 랑글 류디안 네로 종로 딘데 망고샤기도와 디인디 야게 침베 망고지 룽베나다 사규 통규 토라 딕사르 야고 요고 또걸 강에 요 말데 셈베나기 둥에 망고시도 킨데셴데 셈바다 대화체 직 대답주야 가르쳐 버려서 딱 망고지 딱이 요래 디따와라 직원도 쉬어나 시리 랑기 기디 만나셔 버려 니네 녀몽바도서 지금 랑 뒤라 담마다 충분히 얘라 아니 진짜 맞셔 봐 근데 그래서 낭미도 나샤나 지단게 약쇼래 안 딜레 콤박한 게 디셔가지나 수백이 냠내 갈로고요 봐
To create a happy life or a happy family, we really need to be get free from those afflictive emotions and the negative thoughts and forces. If you able to get rid from these negative thoughts and forces, then only by then there you can enjoy a good life and have a good family. This is essentially the essence of the teaching of the Buddha. The teaching of the Buddha is to create a happy life and prosperous life. Because of hatred, because of anger, we are always face the challenges of sufferings, and that suffering causes us to change our faces, and also gets problem with our breathing, and then finally it causes us to feel sick and become so weak in terms of our physical body, which is caused by the hatred again. So hatred is something to be eliminated. It is the cause of all the sufferings that one would experience. Even though you have a good living standard in terms of the facilities of all the basic needs you need, but in terms of the mental condition, you are always poor, because of the lack of the understanding and because of the hatred and anger that possess in your mind, that is there in your mind. When you able to get rid from these negative forces and afflictive emotions and so forth, then only then you can have a happy life. When you are facing such challenges, that time what kind of understanding you should have is that, this is just a momentary, let it be, and then let it be there, and then after some time it will disappear by itself, and you should have the attitude of kind of negligence, or you should ignore the things that you are encountering with. So when you have this kind of attitude or understanding that it is a momentary and after some time it will disappear by itself, then only then you can have some kind of calmness in your mind. So therefore, what I'm trying to explain to you here is that you need patience. So patience is something that need to be practiced. So patience brings calm and happiness in your mind. So therefore, again, the attitude of having this kind of understanding, the understanding of momentary of the adversities that we face is important.
Soba sebegala manguchi da kira dogyong khugres siya khowaroji khondru yusara manguchi di thanda mare khondru masawa rangi khondru masawa chewu gorwa jidan miji ki kira wayu shebe yena de yutoba yena de jomba yena jik shebe yena de kyong khugoya yo mare lungba khaba yena khor tim yore tim duksa dugya khor changdengi lamje khare yena cheya yore dinala khor dogorwa 이내양 되네 랑게 샘기 나로게 되네 콩조다 둥에다 나게 안 파지 콘련 로야라서 현을 내버치야 이 방구요다 서버스니디 현을 면내버치야 현을 세워 마셔 이 남바 상계기 쥐어서들어봐 현을 세워 마셔야 돼 내가 멤버터나 소소 경험을 거야요 말 현을 내버치는 레디 아니 란둥에 용걸 봐 탑두디 디인디 되네 랑이 대화요야 지금 메스델라 디진이를 전국이요래 디인디 되네 수업아 공부요래 수업아 디 가르치거서는 손나고 처음 밟면 못 사게요 디범 아니 망부 찬투요
When we talk about the practice of patience, it doesn't mean that you accept the defeat. Rather, it means that you need to understand the result of anger and so forth. Therefore, the understanding of patience is to be yourself and to know the result, the advantage of practice of patience. It does not mean that it does not mean that you are accepting the defeat. If somebody cheat you, if somebody robbed you, and if somebody defeated you, that time the practice of patience is very much important. It should be applied into your practice. Only then you can overcome from this anger and then the suffering of you. That is what you need to have this kind of understanding. Patience means not to harm other. Not to harming other is the primary practice of Buddhism. The primary practice of Buddhism is not to harm other. So therefore, the practice of patience is very much suggested to put into practice. And it is also said that the practice of patience is through practice of patience you can accumulate a lot of virtues, which can be accumulated a lot of positive deeds, and at the same time it can also be purified heavy negativities. So therefore, the practice of patience, there is a huge advantage of practicing it.
상계기 되는 돈에 지세 손이 담아 맞아봐 지세 동이 담아 또 마시스 손남도 이식 소사고요 봐 인디 되는 손남게 소사야 되고라 먼저 대 쉬비나 남균 안주 수균기다 손남부 소사서라간데 야 되네 긴뒤를 연구르슈야 아니 지금 처음에 봐야 차고와치야 아 이제 소지 룽아가 sak장 소시기요 룽아가 sak장 소 나라다 비교 낭배 망제든데 지기요래 이내양 카술로 저 랑기 녀몽보 되자시나 때문에 뒤야가 토라 냠내 지야디 아니 배 시험부직 등이 타대 침부다오지 찬주고도 디디기요 말에 배는 다네 디가서 봐봐 되네 서버곰야라 봐 서버곰야 디기 디번 먹고 창기 유스 준중나는 송으로 봐 제조선 배 준중나는 송요라 제조선 배 냠내나라 서버곰에나 랑게 되네 디번 먹고 창야지 그래서 디바 찬스도 아니 알아서 공부지를 치네 처음에 먹고 보이제 디샤치야라고 야면은 지 도심 공대라고 미술관에 냠내 치야라고 양 간식을 미네 계절 치야라고 디바샤야 레데 근데 직체 어디야 남규 소야 나한테라 아니 서버 공마도 gyagre gyag zingri dang, dungri dang, seri dang, chokshim chena, pendo choma. Andi lega di gyamge chasarwa. Kashi dinde yogodowa, ane da digbala manzibegi, chongri, da digba mangu jikche, sa saba shugde, di nguyud keche, ane da digba tayak shidu ya, chunbi gyashimbu jikche. Andi da zema zinyan dabu jik. Taro dhubya mara dadi, yang digba dila mangzi jiksa, yang jikse di digiyo mara. Ngaranzu tene tuyo gyundu, ngone chung, nyamne si tu samga jik nal dene, ane nga zhong xia da di jigo mara nyamne sebe gala, nyeri nga zu sowe cho nal tube, doja shedan dimu nga ge chado telo tonglen kente chege ma, di nyamne rwa. Di kabla kong ma chowa, xixing tuba, ane di chambu jik toa ne, di pa si tuba ya, che tuba ina, tena chung nyamle di ne de le du yorwa. Di yin tu sosa dipjan di nyeri ki nyomongba rang la nangi nali inari, jizog nali inari, kawa che, takwa che de yorwa di. Tangi xuebu nashi nyomongba tukbu sangzi ki jizog ziri di nana rogu yorwa, di nana takwa yenyong kanga gyamchun sangma tutu bari. Di tutu dela tene nga zo ji zinja xedan chawdo mayenba di nana sungba nashin ki kangi teta misimba, rawa teta samlo madamba, dozo pa gyayen to torni. En dile hakbe, di nana suna kangi teta misimba, tenam chowa shiwari juwas, ten shi tuku res, rawa. Kesin zin tuku ina chowa dunga de bang tuku marwa. O di bang wara, di thola gyamnyen de dine nga zo chosa dripjan ki nyembo, dine soba gomya di, pe kechin buri, chosa dripjan shiache.
When we talk about the understanding of the meaning of emptiness, in a quote, it says that until and unless you perfected two types of accumulation of merits, you cannot understand the meaning of emptiness. In this regard, the practice of patience is the accumulation of merit. When we talk about the two types of accumulations, the accumulations of merit and the accumulations of wisdom, and then in the regarding of accumulations of merits, we do make offerings to the Sangha members. We offering lambs to the three jewels and so forth. These are the practices through which we can accumulate accumulation of virtue or merit. Through these practices, one can subsidize the attachment and aversions and so forth, those which are in our mind stream. And also the practice of patience is very much required in order to accumulate two types of accumulations. And these are the traditional way of explaining accumulation of merits in Buddhist understanding. This is what we can find in the texts, in the classical texts. However, what I think is that the accumulation of merits can not be done only through these kind of practices, but also it can be done in the most practical way. The most practical way means that the way we live in day-to-day life, the way we deal with the people, and the way we talk and act to the people. So what I'm trying to say essentially is that a most practical way of accumulation of merit is we can do in the day-to-day life. So this is what this shloka associated with. And then there are some people who is believed that by doing so much of negative things, by accumulating, by making so much of money through bad practice and negative practices, and they would go to visit temples and offer money for these kind of purposes. This is not a right way to practice or accumulate positive karmas. These kind of practice should not be considered as the right way of practice of dharma. So this should not be happen with us. When we talk when we talk about dharma practice, it should not also be understood of reciting mantras and chanting prayers and so forth. What essentially be understood of practice is that the practice of it should be understood in terms of the practice of subsidizing attachment and aversions and so forth in our mind. So therefore, the practice of day-to-day life in our day-to-day life is the real practice that need to be embraced and need to be understood properly. So to accumulate merits and all these should not be done only through the traditional way of doing practices such as offering lamps and so forth. So therefore, if you able to do so, able to practice day-to-day life, practice patience and so forth in day-to-day life, and then it is really meaningful to have a good life. And in the stanza, the last lines, which says that in those who harbor such thoughts, hatred is not appeased. In day-to-day life, if we continue to hold enmity and negative thoughts in our heart, then we cannot appease those kind of negative thoughts in our mind. So therefore, the practice of patience and the practical way of understanding all these is important.
제자다 샘기 공주마유하게 체도 탑신되면 당고로와 니기 샘도 냠랭게 도저고라 눕족바 나로라 페지 당원 쇼르사 샤르조바서 눕족버서 모두 사그래 냠랭 지야 샘도 냠랭 고승게 레요다 지기지게 지기 랍송아 너니 사자니 야그리 마셔야지 콘도 마셔야지 야그리 마셔서 찍바 사서나 왜 다르지 마부스 두고 쪽세 가들 다르지 마부 춘주 다 찍바 사요서 되게 시행마 다고 콘도 마자서 자사서 김세 가는데 시행마도 세상 안서 가야지 지금 어쩌바 지셔서는 가는 로서 기란디 딜레 파 칼레스 로그로와 디갈 수디라 사서 가는 팔로 수로 갑수갑 아니 공주 간로 공주 야 체치 나라저 직시에 영화 공주 좀要말다 공주 난 개베나 메사가 간로 신샤고 개버다 부차 내가 메차로야 마도 총줘야 말아 내가 여답 채워 봐我看上山鸡俺这老是靠的大家族些大家族是大靠公主land的呀大地干了可是鸟的些嘛大靠有些但是写过呀，人家靠马空着家啥子呢？金山写个吧，看那点钱呢，点钱个多，人点钱金山怕写，俺是的嘛是吧？对呢，看了卡不住呢，但没人忙活的呢，伢妈不是呢，哪个伢学的当，点钱个是吧？空着，那出去让些上不了东西，等三个个的带住个是吧？朝西特别要嘛的。我第一都朝西呀个塔，本来那时候当过要的，本来嘴巴几个的，你呢嘴巴这不穷说呢，蒙古几个让个对吧的学吃的， ngen de ba kya shebe ma do phajong zeba sho sin di mini phala sho yo da michi ge mar ba mini ge phala sho yo mini ga ge ne de ji dina chu de yo di yebe kan la kenan ge de ba de da ko de ba ni ga xian gu de kenan ge de jo ji go ngen de ba ji go di che go yu di che go ko di che go is na ta chu ya yo mar ba di che du kerangi nedan di kerangi ko dese gubja ga deshe mo ko nedan kedo hakko mo hakko so na den zeba de shoma kashi rangdu cheta nian de chego yu ba phajong wa de ko nian de chego so nga jang chego so minni ba su ta jua yo ma ba yin ni ne zu zo de ne zu ta jio ba ne kigi yaga de leng ko na nang mi chi cha sha bi na 코랑게 시에바데 킨데르도 디삼로 나제 랑시 마제베체 랑드 마제베체 뚱구로와 샤브루지 갸비이나 미니 샤브루 갸베랑 알아서 ngal 뚱구 샤브루 갸구로와 ngal 마데 바소소 샤브루 갸브 킨데르지고 메네 때베데 라차고요 마르와 ngal 땡게데기 샤브루 갸구로 ngal 부지도 샤브루 갸구로와 다스 갸베나 파고르 갸고르 냐보 갸고르 수고르 갸고르 수냐보 갸고르 갸브르도 냐보 도 딘도 냐보 도 데마샤는 유고 말봐 자부리 쳐 상관되잖아 봐 디 인디 되네 파종을 띵기죠 펜슨이가 띵기셔는 샤브르도 야고 때문에 야고 탑도 그러봐
when it comes to the practice of patience. In the West, I met a man who said that when we discuss about the practice of patience, and what did he say was that whenever he get angry, he put a red flag on the table. Whenever he get angry with his spouse, he put a red flag on the table, which means to say that that he is angry. And according to the demonstration of the man, his wife wouldn't react for his anger. This is how one can practice not to have bad result of anger. So this is what the man practices in his life when he gets angry. So in this is a very healthy practice, because it cannot be caused such a devastating result for his anger. So the practice of patience is very much required in day-to-day life. So when we react the anger, then the result will be very devastating. Instead of reacting to the anger, we should try to calm down ourselves and understand the cause of the anger. So this is what we should understand and react according to the understanding that one should have. If you react to the anger, it is nothing like then adding extra fuel on the fire. It will expand the intensity of fire and could cause a lot of problems and so forth. Therefore, the reaction of the anger should not be there. Instead of reaction, one should try to seize or appease the anger in oneself. That would be the most practical practice one can adopt. So the method of appeasing the anger is to practice patience of course. So patience practice is very much applicable in these circumstances. So therefore, the practice of patience is very much recommended. For example, when there is a dispute occurred between two people, this happens because of the different types of wishes of their own. For example, if the wishes contradicts of them, if the wishes of the two people contradicts, then from the one part they would do the best to win him and then oppress the other person's opinion. So the opinion confliction, because of the opinion conflict and the disputes and all these problems occurs. So therefore, when you have such problems, when you encounter in these kind of things, then you should try to understand the other people, other person's opinion on try to see the problems from the other place, the place of other persons. Then you can understand the opinion and what actually he is trying to say. This could be the more effective practice, patience practice. And then again, when we talk about the occurrence of these kind of conflictions, this happens because of too much of self-grasping, self-centered attitude. If there is a self-centered attitude in us, then the confliction or the conflict of opinion occurs, and then the result further goes on having much problems due to the set attitudes. So therefore, one should have less grasping of oneself and less self-centered attitudes. And when there is a less self-centered attitude, then there wouldn't be any conflicts occur. So therefore, this kind of understanding is very much important. One should not just go on and say that, oh, this is my opinion, and you should understand, you should accept me, and you cannot force on somebody. And here's giving an example that you should, when you dance, you should dance according to the tune of the drums. You cannot just do whatever you want, not best. I mean, you should try to dance according to the tune of the dance. You cannot do anything you want. So therefore, the wishes and opinions somebody offers you or try to give you understand, then you should try to accept what is his opinion, and then try to talk to him in a way that it should not cause any kind of problems further.
세상당 알아서 니리니리 지소 초월초기 녀몽 두자 시당 디모 독숨 동나 디게디 다 되네 고는 치야 본좀 치야 냠nen디 조 디인디 아니 텔레비전 나고야 디게 쳔부지 다 최적수제반 나로조 되네 기들 랑도 방라 안 추신도 송고와 디고 조의 닝부디 안디 나라다 아니 달래던 데부조 그봐 사게 좀 된데 귤을 빵바 개발 좀 된데 귤 되네 매개외 귤도 빵구고 개외 귤도 줍고야 디 사게 좀 된데 최기 캐주소 되네 디인도 두근도 송마더니 되자기 되네 이다다 아니 공주기 녀와르게야 시단기 등 하마이라 개발해서 튼 데티모고 튼주리 개발해서 다디 균제소 수구요래 레 균제소 수구요래 디 냠nen디 텐네 탐바데리 디 인디디날 다리카스 바바디날 세제데 초 방고야 콩주 방고야 저소 송 디 셈람 짐바메 마냐나 셈마 마이 마스비나 안 초와디 시우두레스 계시 초와디 셈 냐비나 대 둥에 디징니라 둥에다 디 레기 데보데 페나 니메 쳔마 접수신디 아니 랑기 류 카바치베데 쳔마데 냠보 용그로 쳔나데 어디나시 레디 디 냠보 용그레 디 인디게데 랑돌라들 베스 쳔고레소.
So the practice is all about to subsidize and eliminate the 3 poisons or the 5 poisons and so forth. The teaching of the Buddha is all about to subsidize again and finally eliminate the 3 or 5 types of afflictive emotions and so forth. And the essence of the teaching of the Buddha is based on the cause and conditions and the cause and results and so forth. He mainly taught, mainly gave the teachings on the understanding of the cause and conditions and results and so forth. Therefore, the understanding of the cause and result is very important. For example, if there is when we talk about the cause and conditions and their results, attachments leads you to hungry ghost. The result of being attached to something can be led you into the realm of hungry ghost, and then hatred. The result of the hatred is hell realm. Hell realm. If you continue hold on the anger, it can be led you into the realm of hell. And then the ignorance, the afflicting emotions of ignorance leads you to the realm of animal. So that would be the consequences of our afflictive emotions in next life. So therefore, the practice of subsidizing, undermining, and finally eliminating of these 3 poisons is the essence teaching of the Buddha. And if you continue hold on to the hatred and anger, and then there is no possibility of creating a happy life or a life of prosperity. So therefore, the practice of patience and all these are important.